Coach, extra day of work that you get this week. How have you seen the team respond?
We had our best practice of 2025 yesterday. That's a great thing. Because the schedule changed from Tuesday, Saturday, and this week is Wednesday, Saturday. It's a different vibe, which means next week it'll be a harder vibe. That's my opinion. So we played on Tuesday. We were off on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, play Saturday. But because we're playing Wednesday, our guys got their first weekend day off since January. I think that may have been a part of it. Obviously, we'll work Monday, Tuesday, play Wednesday, work Thursday, Friday, play Saturday, work Sunday, Monday, play Tuesday. So it's good on the front end, hard when you're my age on the back end. But the guys had a lot more energy and bounce and talk and camaraderie. It was really good.
What do you think at this point in the season, CJ's been able to fit into his role so well over the last couple of games?
I think the first thing that I would say is on him, he has a beautiful soul. And I don't know, have I told you how we signed him ever?
I don't know. Go for it.
Yeah, the bits and pieces of it, I was in the worst possible frame of mind ever. It was 5 days after we lost to Houston, and our plane broke at 12,000 feet in the air. And without embarrassing my wife, she is not in love with air travel. And thankful to work at an institution where we can move around quickly during the portal. But if for some reason your plane breaks, all plans are off. And Lyle had everything planned out for 48 consecutive hours. I had not participated in the portal because the portal opened the day after Selection Sunday last year. And my first interaction with CJ, I was a complete jerk in many respects. And he knew he could probably recite my career more than any of my relatives. He knew everything. He knew everything. Had followed me on social media for years. Dad's very well known on the East Coast, has a brother who's a top 50 player, and I didn't know any of that. And the meeting wasn't planned. The meeting just occurred because the plane broke in Omaha, Nebraska. An emergency landed. And so, for whatever reason, he kind of broke the ice. He did. And I adore him. And he wanted to be here. Not because of the portal, not because of NIL, he just wanted to be here. And he has been an incredible leader, considering he has played the least amount of minutes of anybody on the perimeter. But his value per minute continues to improve.
Plus, I know that it's kind of, I guess it's kind of an occupational hazard when you lose a game or two, and I don't know, the people that follow you get upset about it. Do you ever feel like you need to, is it frustrating and you want to remind people of the kind of season you are having?
I think earlier in my life, I was probably like that. I think I was maybe trying to defend what we were doing or how we were doing it. I think the noise has gotten louder just because of the exposure of the industry. And I'm not saying it's right, because I do need to probably have some awareness. But Olin, I rarely even look at my phone. I do look at ESPN. I do watch games. But what we're doing is historical. And if that's not enough, I completely understand. We need to win every game. We need to make every shot. We need to recruit better players, all of those things. But I do think that our organization is built for this time of the year. I do think that we have an incredible group of competitive players who have great maturity and great character. And so some of the ups and downs and the thin lines that you're competing against, I think our organization has been able to grow from and improve. And I think this time of the year, if you can continue to find ways to get better, then it probably gives you a better chance. And I'm thankful to be a part of it. But as far as like what TexAg says and what the donors are saying, and I'm kind of removed from all that.
What do you say to Wade when he has a tough shooting night, from 3-point range? Or at this point, he didn't even have to say anything?
I think we're partly in this position because of 4. I thought 7 of the 9 shots he shot were great. Thought he was a really good quarterback, 7 assists. I like him shooting 12 free throws. I know that's an outlier stat. But those shots that he shot, that's why he's going to be the all-time leading scorer here. And is he going to be perfect every game? No. Would I play it back the same exact way? I would. And I didn't know that when you and I were talking post-game. But those were really good shots. We didn't make them. But it wasn't unpredictable. I think that's why we offensive rebounded 44% of them. And I also think that that's why we got fouled at a high rate playing against a team who doesn't foul. So I liked a lot of it. It was statistically our best offensive game of the season in SEC play. And we shot 5 of 30. Numerically, the analytics. It was our best one. 1.10 is our highest OER in SEC play. And we went 5 of 30. So that must mean we did a lot of incredible things other than make those shots.
I was trying to do some research on Vanderbilt, and they're second in the league in turnover margin, third in steals. Just as you guys have been looking at them, what do you notice from them that they've been able to, be so successful in those areas particularly?
Yeah, I think Coach Gates will win Coach of the Year. If you go 0-18 and then you're in contention for a top 4 seed the following year, that's remarkable. But what Coach Byington's done, they're an NCAA tournament team. They were preseason last. Brand new team, brand new style of play, a very unique style of play. I've enjoyed watching and trying to figure it out. Really don't know much about their personnel. Sunday morning when we started, I feel a little bit more comfortable after yesterday and a little bit more today. But I do think a part of how they play fast is giving them gas, our words. Hey, you can have the ball. We gave Mississippi State 93 octane. You can have it over and over and over. And a lot of that fuels Vanderbilt's offense. Long shots, long rebounds, live ball turnovers that aids what they're trying to accomplish offensively. They're going to play 5 guys that can all pass, dribble, and shoot, all 200 minutes. There is no back to the basket, I'm staying at the charge circle. They're going to spread you out. And when they take the ball from you and nobody's running to the rim and they're just spraying everywhere, they're really good. And so we can't give them the ball.
When you say this organization is built for this time of the year, what exactly do you mean and what helps you guys excel?
Well, I'm just grateful for the depth of the people. When you get to this time of the year, a lot of people are tired. Sometimes they're selfishly tired. Sometimes they're mentally tired. Sometimes they're physically tired. And so I think the depth of the people, the players that play a lot, the players that don't play a lot, the depth of CJ who has a role, but he just got here, the depth of Zoo, who's been a very meaningful player for us, the depth of what Henry's provided in his 4 years, the depth of H and the Swiss Army knife that he is. I just think it's the depth of the people. And I also think personally, when you get to this time of the year, there's a lot of other things swirling around. We have a lot of players who don't know how they're going to pay their light bill in 6 months. And that's a lot when you're 22. But it's the depth of the organization, not just the players. I've said it before. I try to say it as often as I can. It's 106 years of experience on my staff. And no matter where we've lived, I think that matters when you get this time of the year. And so I think it's the depth of the talent that's important. Otherwise, you have no shot. But it's the depth of the human beings. And that's why I'm grateful for the chance. But I also think part of the gratitude within the organization is we're all aware of that, not just the head coach saying that.
Buzz, how do you balance with Zoo just the usage rate he has and how much he does for you guys, but also not wanting to have as many turnovers sometimes?
Yeah, we talk about it probably more than you could possibly imagine. The analytics of it, the clips of it, his growth here, I would have never guessed. Like if you study his analytics prior to here, not being negative towards the level, and then you study his analytics since he's been here, pretty phenomenal, just to be transparent. And I think one of the things that he is realizing is the exposure that comes with all of the good things, but also the exposure that comes with how you need to quit giving the other team the ball. And if you shoot layups, you're supposed to make them. And so he has been raised in a very, very firm, old school sort of way. And I coach him like I still was employed at Marquette. And he receives it as well as any player we've had here other than Q and Dex. And so actually I'm watching clips with him in 47 minutes, and we do it all the time. I watched clips with him yesterday on the other side of the ball because what he's doing, I think he had 9 defensive rebounds against the 16th best offensive rebounding team in the country, and we had a guard who got 9 rebounds. And so, like, the things that are really good, we show him those things, and I think he has a better understanding. And the things that he needs to improve on, that he's been negligent of, we show him those same things, and he receives it like he's 42.
Even though you obviously feel like they've accomplished enough at Vanderbilt to have earned a place in the NCAA tournament, do you expect to see a team that maybe feels like they need this win?
Well, we've been in that position before. I think this time last year we were probably 6-8, and TexAg says we had no shot. So they're Vanderbilt.com, Commodores may be saying that. I think, every team is walking a different path, and we're on a different path than we've ever been on. And so as you move on that path, when you're moving and you've never done it, you have to be careful that the expectations don't determine your GPS. And I think that that's what's happening at Vanderbilt. Maybe they're playing with house money. Hey, everybody thought we were going to be terrible. Look, we're doing great. We just beat Ole Miss coming off a bye. Hey, we're right there. We're going to go play a quad 1A game on Wednesday night. So I think it's however you want your narrative to be created, but that's kind of the external noise. Obviously, Coach is doing a really good job, and I think he and his staff have probably identified relative to that job, relative to the opportunities that they have. They've put together a team that plays a unique style on both sides, as Alex was saying, very unique style on both sides, and they're having a lot of success. And you look at some of their outlier stats as an organization and the teams they've played, it's happening for the first time in a long time since Kevin Stallings was the head coach at Vanderbilt. And none of us had gray hair when Coach Stallings was the coach at Vanderbilt, when they were going to the Sweet 16 and doing the things that he was doing. So, yeah, I can't speak to what's happening internally, but I'm familiar with the path that we walk like that.
Because Pharrell hasn't had maybe as many points the last couple of 3 games. He had a big stretch in there. Are you seeing that teams are paying even more attention to him because of what he was doing?
I probably, yes, sir. I think you have, he does demand attention. And I think that there was, Chip, a period of time, maybe early in conference, where he was just okay.
Yeah.
And then he went on that stretch where he was almost an unknown commodity that looked the part and then began to play the part. I do not think any of us played well in Starkville specific to last week. And if we play with a high turnover rate, someone of that size is going to end up playing free throw line to free throw line. They can't keep up, even though he's a high major plus athlete. I didn't have a problem with the shots that we shot from three on Saturday morning. And Gochi was 2 out of 3. We probably need to get him more shots.
Was that hard to do?
I think it's I want to take the blame. And I did take the blame yesterday in front of the team talking to Gochi. Because I think he's been playing with an ultra high level of confidence, maybe higher than he's ever had in his life. A large part of it during the stretch that you're talking about. A rough week for our team at Mississippi State. And then I probably didn't utilize from a play calling standpoint. You could even argue a minute standpoint. We just made some adjustments defensively, trying to curb number 2. And it did help us in the second half. And it's not Gochi's fault. But some of those changes dictated our roster lineups a little bit more in the second half. It's a 4-point game at halftime. We do need to score. But the 3-point drought was not felt at halftime. But the number 2 with 22 points was felt at halftime. And as we made those adjustments, we calmed that down completely until 2 hits the side out of bounds from 30 feet, which was completely our fault. But even the group that was on the floor defensively was not going to include Gochi because of what we were doing. But in hindsight, I guess he's been playing 6 minutes more, maybe 7 minutes more, which is probably 3 more shots. And that would have, in a 2-ish, 3-ish possession game, it's worth thinking through. But I do think, if you lead the league in field goal percentage, are you going to double? How are you going to double? Who are you going to double with? And even like in the first half, we're doing some things with him. And a lot of those step in 10 toes to the rim threes were because of the attention he drew. Okay, well, if we can get 2 to a ball on a ball screen with 4, and we can get 2 to a ball with Andy and some of the things that we do with him, and we can get 2 to a ball with him, well, somebody's going to be open, and those are the best shots for us to take. Like Zoo shot 3 of them right here on these boards on the entry to Gochi. Okay, perfect. 4 shot one of those. And then Gucci skipped it weak side once to H over here in the second half for H's 3. So like some of our threes were because of the attention he creates. And maybe we should have played him more and shot more threes. I don't know.
But if you make more threes, you think he's going to have more room.
Yeah, again, you have to make a decision, right? That was some of the decisions, to be honest with you, with 2. I don't think 2 is necessarily a ball guard like we think of 4 or Zoo. And I don't think 2 is the low post presence that Gochi is. But in the chess match, you do want to see what they're, how are they going to play ball screens? How are they going to defend the post? And that's not Tennessee. That'll be tomorrow night. That'll be Saturday night.
Going back to the story you said about how you kind of got that introductory meeting with CJ, Were you planning, was that meeting on the itinerary or is it?
No,
just
no, no,
laying-
no, 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 no. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than all of it. We're in the plane, and the pilot leans back and says, "We have a problem." And I know there's cameras, and I said, "We do not have a problem." So now the second pilot gets out of his seat because the one driving has to pay attention. And he comes back and he's about to give me the pilot explanation in pilot terms. Hey man, I don't know you. You don't know me. We don't have a problem, but we need to get on the ground. Is that what you're about to say? Yeah. Where are we? We're in the air. Where are we? We're in such and such. Where's the nearest FBO? Such and such. We're going to make it there, right? Because my wife is tracking this on her phone, however that works. You better land this plane as fast as possible. So we're landing, and it's not normal person landing. It's like you're probably too young. There used to be a movie, Airplane, with some funny guy. Yeah. It's that kind of stuff, but it's not what you think because it's private travel.
Yeah.
So Rock always sits right here where he's facing me. Lyle and Devin sit behind me. So the portal opened the day after Selection Sunday. We play Nebraska Friday night. We play Houston the last game of the NCAA tournament first weekend on Sunday night. You were there. Mm-hmm. Now we're traveling back on Monday. So the day before Selection Sunday, we traveled back after losing in the semis in the SEC tournament. And Luke Hillen had said, "Coach, there's a chance we're going to Dayton." Mm-hmm. As if we're going to need to leave tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Selection Sunday, we're not going to Dayton. Clap, everybody's excited. And then the staff says, "Hey, Coach, tomorrow the portal opens and da-da-da-da-da, you can do." And I go, no. I ain't doing nothing. Y'all are doing all that, and I'm going to see if we can beat Nebraska. And I'm not going to talk to you about the portal until I'm through coaching these guys. And if that means we miss some players, then I want to do right by these families. We're on the bus leaving Monday morning to come home. "Coach, so-and-so," I go, "Guys, surely to goodness you're not asking me to do something today, right now, are you?" I tell you what, tomorrow morning, I'll meet with you guys. I want to go home and go to bed. Tuesday morning, meet with them. We're leaving Wednesday morning. And this is when we made one stop, and then it happened. So everything was over. We're landing. Rock's right there, Lyle and Devin. "Hey, guys, I'm going to handle this as best I can. When we get on the ground, y'all have 1 hour to devise a plan. Don't speak to me until then. But if in 1 hour the plan is not worthy of my time, I'm going home. And I don't know how I'm going home, but I'm not going home with you guys." So I just sat on the plane. 1 hour later, Rock walks up the steps and he goes, "Coach, we got a plan." I go, "Do you want to tell me?" And he goes, "No, you got to trust me." So I go get in the car, go off the plane, through the FBO, get in the car. I'm in the back seat. Nobody's saying a word. "Guys, you're going to tell me where we're going?" "Coach, we're driving to Lincoln." "Lincoln? What are we driving to Lincoln for?" So Rock's in charge of personnel, and I have meetings with Devin, everybody. I called CJ an assassin when I was studying him. Rock knows all the three-point jump shot percentage, this, that. Rock, don't tell all our guys that. Assassin. So as soon as he'd come up, "Guys, that's the assassin." So we're riding. I'm mad. "Coach, we're going to Lincoln." "Who are we going to see in Lincoln?" "The assassin." I go, "Nice. You guys think we could get something to eat?" He said he's going to take you to his favorite pizza place. That's how it happened.
That's awesome.
That's how it happened.
Was it Valentine's?
It's some kind of unique place.
Okay.
And he knew I was upset. He goes, "Hey, coach." And he pulls out a pad. And he goes, "Hey, coach, what books are you reading this week?" I go, "I'm reading this. Puts the pad down, pulls out his phone. He goes, "Coach, what podcasts are you listening to?" I go, "I'm listening to this one. I go, "Hey, man, how do you know I read and listen to podcasts?" He goes, "Coach, I know everything." And I told our team on Selection Sunday, I knew everything about you. I knew everything about your team because I watch everything you do. I go, "Wow, really?" And he just started going through my whole life story. So we finish. He orders my pizza. It's some kind of fancy place. It's not Pizza Hut. We're walking out and he goes, "Coach, you take a picture with me?" I go, "Take a picture with you?" "Yeah, I'll take a picture with you." Take a picture. We get in the car. I don't know what's next on the agenda. The plane's broke. "Hey, Lau, you know who this kid is?" "Yeah, coach, the assassin." "Rock, do you know who his family is? Do you know anything? Or is he just a good kid?" He goes, "Coach, I know everything. Dad, his brother plays for Coach Patino. Brother committed to North Carolina, signed at St. John's when Coach got the job." And then like from that point, the dad called me 3 days later. The dad called me and he goes, "Hey, coach." And he started crying. And I said, "Hey, coach, I don't know you and I don't know your son, but I know that what happened there was a lot bigger than me. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to mess it up. So if you're about to tell me he wants to come, he can come. That's the end of it. No recruiting, no calling, no nothing." I never called CJ.
That's awesome.
Like it's just been like a very unique relationship. Like we're in Vegas and in the locker room, "Hey, coach, you mind if I say anything?" "No, you say whatever you want to say." And like the things he says, and our guys listen to him. He's kind of got his vibe and how he flows. He's on a different wavelength. Like he is a really, really good human being.
You guys still call him the assassin?
I'm trying to be really careful with the words that I say publicly. Do you think that it's okay to say that?
Context.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of people who take things out of context. Olin, who in the hell are you to say context to me? Right? Clip that out. No, I'm just kidding.